to another installment of Apostles of GMS, giving all praise to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. We're up here. If you notice the background or the backdrop, you notice that we're at Yale University, and we're on the other side of the street of the Skull and Bones building. All right, somebody's coming out of it, and I think it looks like John Kerry, looks like a young John Kerry. Anyway, we out here doing this on location up here at Yale University in New Haven, Connecticut, and we're just gonna go like we normally go. Whatever we're unscripted, whatever comes up. You know, whatever scriptures y'all got, whatever documents y'all got, we have the laptops ready. And basically, what we're gonna do is we're not gonna walk around and take shots. We'll do that in post-production. So anything that you remember of any scenery, you can speak on it, and then you'll see it in the post-production. So with that, whatever y'all got to say, go ahead and say it.
Got a quick scripture?
Yeah, bring it up.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 25, verse 7. It says, "And he will destroy in this mountain the face of the covering cast over all people, and the veil that is spread over all nations."
Yeah. Expound.
So basically, what's happening is, we're here, like on location, as the apostle said, in Yale University, across the street from the Skull and Bones, and that's a secret society, that Esau, the so-called white man, has, to basically establish the new up-and-coming leaders, of this society. Not the 666 men that ruled America and the world, but the up-and-coming rulers of this nation, And that's what they do. They bring them up in there, they tap them on the shoulder. It's not an invitation. It's like something that's done. You don't get a card and then like they just tap in the shoulder. You go there. It's like about 15 different members per year.
Yeah, they call them bonesmen.
Bonesmen.
Yeah.
And what the Spirit has us doing is basically exposing, this secret society, because that's what our job is. Our job is to learn about Esau's mysteries and uncover them, make him bare.
And speaking of Esau, or speaking about Esau, they call them bonesmen, which is synonymous with death.
Yep.
They're also known as the Brotherhood of Death.
That's right.
Because Esau, what you people are going to learn is that Esau, which is a so-called white man, they represent death.
Yep.
All right? Since they've taken over the planet Earth, roughly about 500 years ago, almost 600 years ago, they've brought death to the planet Earth. Okay? They've brought the planet Earth to the brink of death, destruction, because that's what Esau, the so-called white man, represents. He represents death and destruction.
Yeah, since you said that, he said that they've been in power since going back approximately 500 years ago. And we're talking about the old world order coming onto the other side of the earth, establishing a new world order. As a matter of fact, they had it in their mind when they came to the other side of the earth, led by Cristobal Colon. We got to give him his right name.
Yeah, Cristobal Colon.
Not that fictitious name.
Yeah,
we got to give him his exact name, which is Cristobal Colon, which he's a so-called Jew.
Okay.
Now, it was interesting that you said that, because I was watching on Netflix. I put in the Christopher, because I was trying to get on YouTube. Anytime they put it up on YouTube, they'll take it back down. So that's an important movie. So what I did was I went on Netflix, because if you don't have a Netflix account, then you have a problem. It's $8 is going up to $9,
Yeah.
But anyway, what's that? Yeah. But then you want to keep it. But anyway, I said, I remember maybe 2 years ago, year and a half, 2 years ago, it was on Netflix, and I said, well, let me type it in and see if it comes back up, and it popped back up, and I just started watching it. Now in that movie, I noticed that it's like Shabar, I noticed that the director and the producer, the main character behind, or the main individual behind the movie was Ridley Scott, which I didn't know about that. Now, he's known for making these period pieces. And when he makes these movies, he gathers a lot of historians, specifically of that era, of that particular era. He'll get expert people that are experts in costumes for that particular area, for that particular era. Excuse me. He brings it all together. So when you watch his movies, it actually seems like you're in a time machine and you're taken back to that time. And that time specifically is 1492, 1491, 1492, 1493.
That's right.
The like I said, the costume design, the scenery, the sets. Now I don't know if they actually, because Ridley Scott is known for actually going, outside of the country. He might even have filmed it right there in Spain. Yeah. Certain of the spots, scenes were filmed in Spain or places in Europe. So this guy gets all into it. And they mention in the movie how Cristobal Colon, the opening scene of the movie, he had his son. I think his son was named Fernando, and he had an older son named Diego, okay? And what happened was, the opening scene was his son looking out into the sea and looking at his ship, and he notices where, what position is his ship, and he says the ship disappeared. So he asked his son, and he was eating an orange at that time, and he asked his son, what does that mean? And he had to think about it. And I think he tapped his son on the head, and he said it means that the world is round. So he had to go before these different council people, really financial backers, because that's what it was. At the end of the day, it was about he needed someone to finance him to go to the other side of the world. Okay, right. Hold on deck, somebody. Revelation 20:1, and basically they didn't want to finance him, and they really wanted to damn lock his ass up, or even kill his ass, or he was that close to getting burnt on the stake. And there was a scene where they were burning people on the stake. And what they would do, they would have the priest with the cross and the people that were accused of witchcraft or if they practiced Judaism, they were hung up on that cross or on that tree, on that stake, and they were asked to repent. Now, there was a scene where the woman repented, and they said, thank you, you repented to God. They burnt their ass up any goddamn way, man. So it's showing you back in that time how wicked those people were, man. And these are the same wicked people that you see every day, that you walk amongst. And basically what they did was they burnt you at the stake in the town square. So what happened? That was like your pay-per-view.
Yeah, entertainment.
So people rush. They're going to burn somebody at the stake. So people rush to see it, man. And while the person was burning up, they were like, ooh, ah.
Yeah.
See how wicked people are? But anyway, I said all that to get to this point that the New World Order started with Christopher Columbus. Cristobal Colon. Yeah, all right? So let's read that.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 1. And I saw an angel come down from heaven, having the key of the bottomless pit and a great chain in his hand. And he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent.
Now that's talking about Esau. I'm not even going to say the so-called white man. You should already you should have graduated to the fact that we don't use the term white man or white boy no more. We call him an Edomite.
Right.
You should know what we're talking about.
Right.
And if you don't know, the first time you're watching this, just go to Google. Just go to Google and put in the Edomites, man.
Yeah, that's right.
Go to Urban Dictionary and put in Esau, Edom. And it'll tell you that's the so-called white man, because we done pushed this thing out so much.
We're in the information age.
We're in the information
age. You got Google,
Right.
You got 1,001.
And when did the world realize who Esau is or the Edomites are?
Yeah, with the YouTube.
With the YouTube, mainly through the apostles of a great millstone. Okay?
Yeah.
It says, and he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan, and bound them 1,000 years.
So he was bound for 1,000 years under Israelites that were calling themselves Christians, because the first Christian empire was established. A key name is Constantine, known as Constantine the Great, during the period of circa 325 A.D. The council, there was a major council, which was known as the Council of Nicaea. You can also Google that. It's worth a Google. Google that and look up the Council of Nicaea. All right. And basically, the council, one of the key characters was a man by the name of Arian. Was it Arian or Arius? Arian, Arius. You know a guy named Arius.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was a council on the divinity of what they call Christ. We call him Yahweh Shai because that was his true name. Yahweh Shai HaMashiach. All right, the Messiah. And what was established in that council was that the Messiah was divine. He actually performed these miracles. All right. So that goes back to that. So from that point, from 325 up until around 1325, 1345, 1350, going into the 1400s, that's when we had our downfall.
Yeah.
That's when we had our downfall. And it didn't happen overnight. It took time. It didn't happen overnight. In other words, when this man goes down, this man's been going down. Esau's been going down since 1970.
Right.
The last war that they were in power, when they were on top, was World War II. The Vietnam conflict. What did that cause? That caused all these GIs to come back to the States, and they were basically doped out, drug addicts. Okay, they were the dope fiends. Okay, so even though you physically won, you lost that stronghold, because down there in that area of the Nam, it's the system is a communist-based system. All right. Even though you have the Rothschilds that tell the leaders of that area what to do and what not to do. Because the Illuminati, the Rothschilds, the elite family that controls the whole planet Earth and owns you and owns me, all right, they tell people what to do. But the masses of the American people are, the best word I can use, a bunch of dummies, stupid asses. Here you are talking about you're going to vote for Trump. Trump.
Then there's something wrong with you.
He was bought and paid for a long time ago, man.
And that's what we have.
Bloomberg bought and paid for a long time ago. Even though they had money, because what they do is they bring you in when you have a lot of money. Let's say I become a famous DJ, a young man. I become a famous DJ, and I'm worth $10 billion. They don't have to give me no money. I have money. What they're going to do is they're going to get somebody to come and talk to you and befriend you, and they're going to let you know you want to go on a higher level. You got to worship Satan.
Like Jay-Z.
Like Jay-Z, because Jay-Z already had the money, but they can make you and they can break you. See, like Aaron Russo. Aaron Russo was a self-made man, and basically they broke him down. They said, "Look, you got to play by the rules." And basically, he woke up and said, "I'm not going to play by the rules no more," because he wanted to become governor of what state was that? It was somewhere in the Midwest.
Yeah, Chicago, was it?
No, he was based in Chicago. He had a couple of clubs, but he wanted to. I believe it might have been governor of Illinois, if I'm not mistaken. But you'll see the data, on the screen. All right. But anyway, he made he did an interview with that insider, Alex Jones. You think he's fighting against the New World Order? No, he's part of the New World Order. He's also been bought and paid for, okay? And he's doing very well. He's a multi-millionaire, okay? Been taking care of him. And he's taking care of his people, man.
Right.
Go ahead.
This is Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory. Drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the
Talking
Lord,
about Esau.
the cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spewing shall be on thy glory.
Yeah. And a good example, a perfect example of that is the situation over there in Syria. The shadow government, the government behind the U.S. government, because Barack Obama is nothing but a puppet, all right? And every time you see him, he looks more and more like a puppet every time you see his ass. I mean, if you can't see through that puppet, then something's wrong with you, man.
See the strings.
You can't see the strings. I can see the strings, man. You know, but anyway, there's a shadow government, and the shadow government set up ISIS or ISIL to really take down Assad, which is the leader of Syria. The Russians know about that. They know that it was set up by the CIA. So they said, okay, well, they're terrorists. Didn't Bush say all nations should fight against terrorism? So we're going to fight against terrorism. So what they did, they fought against terrorism, and now they're being demonized. Now they're not being persecuted. They're being demonized for fighting terrorism. But I thought that's what the U.S. wanted. All nations to fight against terrorism.
It shows you the hypocrisy.
It shows you the hypocrisy, because the Russians know what to do. Matter of fact, I think the Putin actually came out and said that ISIS was set up by the CIA. So they know. So the world is waking up, man.
Oh,
The majority of you people out there, just stay asleep, man.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's that scripture that the brother just read. His foreskin shall be uncovered.
That's it. That's it.
And one of the things that's one of the medium that's really exposing you devils is this internet. All right, that's why Jay Rockefeller made a statement. Famous statement. He said the internet should have never been invented. Why? Because it's revealing this devil. It's revealing Esau, and it's revealing you on all levels, all different kind of levels, bringing you to your downfall. See, the weapon of truth is what's going to bring you devils to your downfall. Right. Just a simple thing is truth, because your kingdom was built upon lies. All right, the lies is coming out.
Malcolm said that. Malcolm said you don't have to pull out a knife or a gun on a crook or a thief. And you're talking about Esau, so-called white man. He said all you got to do is use the weapon known as truth. And he said you'll run him down the street.